show you guys a few methods of stretching dough today. This one is called 3-step, where the first step is to press down and press out from the middle to the outside. Flip it over, form the wall. So if you see, I didn't start here on the inside of that little indent. I started between that and the edge, and I push straight in, turn it a little bit, push straight in. And my left hand isn't really doing anything but just sitting there to support. My right hand is turning and pressing in, and I'm forming a crust. And I'm going all the way around like that. So that's step 1 and 2. Step 3 is to start table stretching, which what I'm doing, my left hand is staying still and holding the dough down. My right hand is stretching. So if you see that spot, look at that spot right there. That's right in the middle. That's where my right hand's gonna go every time, right to the middle. And I'm really focused on the outside of the dough. The middle kind of stretches itself from gravity. So this is going to be a 24-inch pie. It's going to be a big New York slice pie. So that's 3-step for table stretching. I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to pick it up and use it in a second. But also, if I do that, I call it pre-stretching because it's going to stretch some and it's going to relax a lot. That was a tight dough, so that really helps make it more pliable when I come back to it. So once again, now this is what we call scoring the dough. It's different than scoring it's different than scoring bread. So you can start by pushing everything to the outside, but sometimes when you need a, like let's say I have a 10 pie order and I got some tight dough, I might go through all 10 and just do that all the way around. I'm not worried about that middle at all just yet. And I'll come back and this will be easy to work with. I can go straight into that. I might press down a little bit in the middle. But that's scoring the dough. And that can help a lot too because it'll relax again and you can go straight into stretching. Like that, like so. Set that aside as well. Then you got methods where you don't use the wall at all, which I honestly prefer. I recommend starting with the wall method or scoring, and then graduating into something like this, where you push all the air to the outside. The smooth side is up, by the way, so if you have dough trays, it'll be the side that's on top will start on top on the table, it'll end up on the bottom. So there I go, I press most of the air out to the outside. Not over obsessing about it, I'm leaving about 1 inch. Cornichon, I flip it over, and just like when I went and did the wall, I'm going to push my right hand in, and I'm just going to kind of do both at once, where I'm pressing in like that and stretching at the same time. And you see it's kind of folding over my fingers. That's what you want. Then after you get one rotation, then you're just table stretching. And you get better and better, and as you can see on my left hand over here, I'll see if it's thick or thin. And that's how I know how far towards the end I need to go when I dig in, let's say. So I have a pretty uniform crust around the whole thing. Set that aside again. And that's what we call 2-step. That's where you, step 1 is pushing the air to the outside, step 2 is table stretch. I'll show you 1-step. Now I don't recommend this unless you're in a pinch, to be honest. 1-step, smooth side down, and you just go straight in to stretching, like that. And you can see not quite as uniform or perfect. I'm gonna set that aside as well. So once again, 3-step. Two-step. Honestly, never recommend one step, like I said, unless you're in a pinch. I'm not even going to show you that again. A simple score. And lastly, the 2-step score. And if you're wondering why I throw flour on it like that, I haven't even mentioned, it's flour and cornmeal mixed. It helps a lot when it comes to the peel. I don't really use cornmeal on the peel or flour on the peel. I just massage it into the dough there. So yeah, 2-step score. What I did is just press the air out on the smooth side, flip it over, and score it. And usually, so like this, I'm gonna leave right here. And I'm gonna come back to it, and it'll be super easy to just stretch. And I'm gonna turn this camera. If you see, this is all the ones I set aside. I got all the doughs I just did set aside so I can start making my window right here. Alright, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make 8 pies for the window. 5 of them are gonna be specialty pies, like meat lover, a supreme, a white pie, buffalo chicken. Let's see, and then I do a piece of bird, which is a pepperoni meatball ricotta, pepperoni sauce with banana pepper, and then I do a pepperoni pie and 2 cheese pies. That usually gets me through the first hour or 2 at work once we open, because people come through and they get their slices for lunch and they clean my window. They love the slices, it's super nice. It makes me happy seeing them eat it, and I'm gonna show you how I do it. So from before, I got what I table stretched, and I'm gonna start with this slap. So I'm coming to my arm and I'm kind of doing this motion. And then I get to here. See, I got that spot in the middle. I can see my thin spots. That spot in the middle is going to be where my left hand is. So I'm going to toss it. And I kind of stretch it out, toss it back. Stretch it out, toss it back. And that little droop that's in front of me right by my chin is going to be in my left hand. And when I drop the pizza, I go the far side away from me and set it towards me. I fix it, make sure it's a nice circle. For these 24-inch pies, I gotta use about 2 ladles of sauce. Go. I'm gonna do the pepperoni meatball ricotta, pepperoni sausage, banana pepper to start. You want to be pretty even with your cheese. You don't want to overload with cheese. Yeah, so some places in New York and New Jersey, they'll put in what we call a shell over here, which is just the dough and sauce, and you steam some of the sauce off like you're cooking a Sicilian. And it helps keep the cheese whiter for longer. But like I said, within the first couple of hours, not even hour and a half from when we open, these things are gone. And whatever is not gone is given to employees. Worst comes to worst, thrown out, which I hate to see, but health code is health code. So I'm gonna have sausage. And banana peppers. Have meatball. And ricotta. So I'll show you a shell real quick. So there's two, when I do shells, which depends on my time to shrink here. Shells also are like an extra step. And I'm trying to show you when you're making orders for people. You're not gonna make shells when you make orders. You just do this. You go, you set your dough. And if you're gonna do shells, you need a little more sauce. I'm doing 2 heaping ladles. Because since there's nothing on top of that sauce, when you throw it in the oven, it's gonna evaporate a lot of the water. I like to smooth it out. Bottom of the ladle. Make sure it's a nice circle. And slide it in. You can also do a cheese shell, as I call it, or a white shell. So that one step. So I'm slapping, and eventually, when I get back to here, if you see that spot in the middle that's drooping, I'm gonna move that over to my left hand. So I stretch it, fires back. If you look in the light, you can see how even the dough is. Very good practice for a pizza guy. Keep it up top so you can see, like one big window pane test. See, this one step leaves a lot of bubbles because you don't do any pushing the air out in the middle in the beginning. So a white shell, sometimes I call it clamshell as a joke. I just throw cheese on, and I use a little less cheese than what will be on the final product. When I pull this out, I'm going to add a little cheese because some of it's going to bubble up when it's dry. So the spots, I'm going to use my cutter, pop any bubbles, and any spots where it's just dry from the bubbles that got popped, I add more cheese while it's still hot. It'll stay really uniform with the rest of the cheese that you're just put on. So I'm sliding all these pies directly onto the stone. I'm gonna move that first one to a screen so that I don't overcook the bottom, and I want to cook the toppings properly too. it gets some color. So what I do is I grab a cutter, I look at my bubbles, I want to make the perfect crust around like a real New York pizza. And I do that at the stage right when I move it. I would show you, but I don't want to take this pizza out of the oven too long where it deflates. Alright, so I'm going to do it in real time, real fast. Once again. I'm going to do a cheese pie. And you'll develop a flow, you'll start to feel it. Like I can feel when this is the right size. It's a little different if you're making pizzas at home. You'll probably only make a couple of them a week. But if you get a job at a pizzeria, start a pizzeria, you'll get the practice you need, unless it's super duper slow. This place is really busy. I'm not going to say the name. Nice. If you know me, you know where I'm at. But this place does anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 a day. They have other locations that do well over that. This is the first location though. So now, here's one of those shells. Like I said, I'm gonna get the bubbles real quick. Go around the rim of the sauce like rim. Try to make an even crust. You can see it started to deflate quick enough. I'm gonna make this a pepperoni. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and put all the cheese on, put the pepperoni on after I cut it. Let it melt into the hot pizza. And then when people order it, it's cup and char pepperoni. They'll watch it go from flat pepperonis to nice cups. And the goal, if you do this, you want to do it while it's still hot. You don't want to make the shell and let it sit forever. It's not going to be as good. I'll teach you that next. I honestly can't even describe how I do it from the slab. So I'll just show you how to throw it up.